You are now tuned in to According to His Purpose podcast, a space where we focus on self-love, healing, and discovering our God-given purpose. This podcast has been created for anyone that's ready to meet a new and better version of themselves. Welcome to episode 6 of According to His Purpose podcast. This episode is titled, Could It Be You Are the Problem? One of the things that I like to do in my spare time is listen to TED Talks. There's nothing like a good TED Talk that leaves you motivated and ready to just go forward and discover a better version of yourself and evaluate certain areas in your life. About a month ago, I was listening to a TED Talk by Debbie Sibler. And for those of you that's not familiar with TED Talks are basically a platform where experts basically give motivational advice about different topics such as health, science, business, you name it. There's all types of TED Talks out there. And so about a month ago, I was listening to a TED Talk by Debbie Sibler. And in this TED Talk, she told a story about a lady by the name of Claire. And Claire was someone that was very successful. She had climbed her way up the corporate ladder, and she even became the CEO of her company. One day, Claire started to feel as if she was not satisfied. So what Claire decided to do was incorporate some different activities in her life. She joined the gym. She started to eat better. And she started to notice as she changed those things that she, as a person, began to feel she was more satisfied with herself. She was happier. And it made her think like for the last 25 years, she's basically worked her way up, worked so hard at a career that she only chose to impress her parents. I believe at this time she started to really think, like, all this time I've created this life of what I was told, of what I assume I should be, and it never brought fulfillment to my soul. And now she's finding things that actually feel good to her soul and that makes her feel like wanting to be a better person and love herself more. But then she realized the life that she currently has is all she's known. So what now? Do she leave all of that behind and try to pursue her happiness and pursue her dreams and the things that will bring fulfillment to her soul? Or do she stay put in her comfort zone? Claire decided to stay put in her comfort zone because she started to weigh out the difference. She started to think about the things that she would probably lose, the cost of changing. And yes, change costs a lot. Change will cause you to start seeing things from a different perspective. It may even cause you to lose friends. It may cause you to lose different types of relationships, maybe even moving locations, you name it. You will definitely lose some things when you are going through a transformation and a change. And more than likely, you're going to gain a brighter, broader perspective over your life, yourself, and your purpose. So, like Claire, many of us choose to stay in a place of comfort in those things that we're familiar with. We choose relationships, careers, even mindsets based off of what we've been told is right or what we've been told will impress others. And we live a life that's not what God has for us. We live a life beneath what God has for us. We endure things that's not what God has for us. We cheat ourselves out of our peace, out of our happiness, out of being fulfilled because we are scared to do those necessary things to get to that destination of discovering who you truly are. I will ask you guys to please allow your egos to get out of the way, and be honest with yourselves and ask yourself, Am I truly fulfilled in what I'm doing every day? Am I excited and happy when I wake up in the morning to go forward? Are the people in my life those people that's really supporting me? Do I settle for less than I deserve? And if you answer those questions in a way that it shows you that you have been settling in areas, you have not expanded your mind so that you can see things from different perspectives, and perhaps it's caused you to miss out on some relationships or opportunities. It's time to make a change. It's time to get out of your own way. It's time to expand your horizon. It's time to be honest with yourselves. And when you start to ask yourself these questions and be honest with yourselves, it's going to cause you to go in some directions that's going to lead you to that new version of yourself. Like Claire, many of us self-sabotage our life, our future, our peace, our happiness, because it's so much easier to stay in that comfort zone. It's so much easier for us to go back to what we know is safe. Those relationships, those friends, those situations, circumstances, even if it's not the best for us, even if it does not really bring fulfillment to our souls. And so in this episode, we want to look at ways that we perhaps may be in our own way. One of the ways that many people are in their own way is for some reason we've put other people above us. We do not see ourselves correctly. We do not see ourselves the way that God wants us to see. And this is not just for those people that's down and out and that's having a hard time. Even successful people don't see themselves the way that God want them to see themselves in the way that they truly are. A lot of times people that has accomplished so many great things, they've done so much to help others, but they still don't see their worth. And it's like you feel that you still have to do things to prove that you are worthy and do things to prove that you are enough. You are so committed and dedicated to other people's visions and to other people's agendas, and we slack on our own. We will lie to ourselves, but we will make sure that we show up for everyone else. We make sure that we keep our word. We come to every celebration, every baby shower, you name it, birthday, you're not missing a beat. But when it comes to investing in yourself, when it comes to sticking to your routines, we slack on that. It's okay for us to slack on ourselves. And so that's one of the ways that we are in our way. And we have to make a change. We have to see how important we are, and we have to walk that out. We owe it to ourselves to give ourselves the best, to love ourselves before we can love anyone else. Somewhere down the line, we've lost hope and we don't believe. Some people just don't believe that they are worthy or that they can be successful or that they can be happy. For some reason, we unconsciously hold on to these fears and rejections and things that's happened to us in the past. And this is where I go back to saying we have to get the ego out the way, because sometimes we have to be honest. Perhaps there is something. They start to pay attention. People say, forget your feelings, but no, I believe that you really have to pay attention to your feelings. How do you feel in certain situations? How do you feel in certain organizations, sitting at certain tables, having conversations with certain people? How do people really make you feel? And not only that, like, how are you? Are you fulfilled in the career that you're in? Are you excited and happy on Monday mornings to start work, or are you drained, or are you miserable? Like, you can look at these, you have to look at how you feel, and you have to evaluate it and see if there's possibly something that you can change, or you can settle for that feeling. And that's where the self-love comes in, because if you truly love yourself, why wouldn't you want to give yourself the best that you can in this one world, this one life that you have? God says to use what's in your hand. Use what's in your hand right now. Use what you have to become a better person and do what it is that you have to do. There's something that you have right now in your hand that you can do, and you don't have to have the money. You don't have to have, the connections and all of that. You can't wait on that. And another way that I feel that we get in our way is worrying about what other people say. And so we don't step out. It's like with this podcast. Could you imagine had I waited and worried about what other people were going to say about what I was doing, or who does she think she is, or whatever the case may be? People are always going to have something to say, but it doesn't matter. when you know who you are, when you know that God has called you, when you have that confidence that you need to go forward, you let people talk. They're going to talk regardless if you do it or if you don't. Those people that talk is going to always talk, and people that do is going to always do and get it done. So when it comes to change, um, something has to go. So it's either the person that has the dreams and believe better, or the person that has given up hope. That part of you, that personality, one of them has to go. And you have to believe, and you have to have hope. And you have to know that it is possible for you to have whatever it is that you want. Nobody is going to advocate for your peace and for your happiness. You have to, if you want it, you have to fight for it. And like I said, this podcast isn't for everyone. This podcast is for those that still have hope, that still believe that there is more and there is better for them. And so when it seems as if you don't know how to get out of your own way, you don't know how to be honest with yourselves and say, well, hey, maybe I don't know everything, or maybe I could, look at this differently, or maybe I did, view people differently, or view them in the wrong way. We have to be honest. We have to allow our egos to get out the way, have a teachable spirit, and be ready to move forward, and know that we are not always right, and allow God to show us those things about us, those situations, the personality, our ways of thinking that has to change. We got so comfortable with it. We've gotten so many people are carrying mindsets that's been passed down from generations to generation. It's time for you to wake up, open your mind, and have a mind of your own, and figure out what it is that you want, what it is that makes you happy and make you whole, and go for it. And when it seems difficult, in Mark 22, Jesus says, have faith in God. Truly, I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will happen, it will be done for him. Therefore, I tell you, everything you pray and ask, believe that you will receive it, and it will be yours. So whatever that mountain is, and a lot of times we are the mountain that is in the way, our thinking, the way that we have our environment, we just become so accustomed to our environment. Like, it bothers me. Honestly, I don't really like to be in situations where everybody talk alike, everybody's dressing alike, everybody's acting alike. And if somebody is different, they're cast out. It's like sometimes people don't know what to do with something that's different, or people that's different, so they do nothing with them, or they do the wrong things with them, demonize them and all of that, because they're different. They're free, and they're not afraid to be themselves. So it's intimidating to everyone that's clones, that feel that I'm going to do and be whatever I need to be to make myself fit into the crowds. Like, I'm afraid of those environments, because I feel like, I'm not free to be myself. Like, I need that space to be able to be myself, and know that, the love is still unconditional, because I'm around people that's whole and that's wise, and that understand that, God created us all different, and we are supposed to be walking in it. We're not all supposed to look alike. We're not all supposed to have the same mindset. So that's the way that we get in our way, trying to fit in. And I just don't like those type of environments. It bothers me. It truly bothers me. And so I want to recommend a book to you guys. This book is called The Mountain Is You. It is by Brianna Wiest, and it is transforming self-sabotage into self-mastery. And so we talked about it all. Like, we've talked about having courage. We talked about releasing things. We've talked about ignoring things. And so now it's time for us to just look in the mirror and see ways that we have been holding ourselves back. Who are we trying to impress? Why have we been doing the things we've been doing all these years? Is it because of something that we want to do, or is it because we want to look a certain way for others, or impress people, or get to a certain place? Because listen, you don't have to do anything for man to elevate you or to promote you or anything like that. You have to seek God, and God is going to be the one that's going to get you into the right place. Don't waste your time. Don't get in your way, wasting your time doing something, having strategies to be accepted by these other human beings. Don't waste your time doing that. Allow God to move you and connect you in ways that will bring fulfillment to your life and help you to move and walk in your purpose. I just feel in this season, this is going to be the year for the people that have been mistreated, been cast out, written off, that haven't been giving the proper respect and the proper acknowledgement for all that they've brought to different tables and situations. Those that haven't been loved correctly, those that's been neglected, maybe from younger age, I'm not sure. But one thing that I do know, this is going to be the year where God is getting ready to bless you in a way that you have never imagined. God is getting ready to remind you that you are the head and you are not the tail. You are above and you are not beneath. And he is getting ready to connect you in ways. And I mean, like, you have to have faith. I'm talking about going to another level, going to another lifestyle. Lives are getting ready to change in a major way, but you cannot miss it by having the same in the box mentality and the comfort that you have in the things that you do now and the people that you spend your time with. It's like we got to go back to the drawing board, be able to go back to the drawing board and allow God to do what he's going to do. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to allow fear to get in the way of you missing what God is getting ready to bless us with. That's one of the things that stop us a lot of time is fear. Fear of others, fear of opinions, fear that we can't do it, fear that we don't have enough, fear that it don't work, fear that they don't want you, fear is behind it all of us getting in our own way. And so let's have an open mind and let's not be like Claire and decide that, hey, this is all I know. This is not the all I know season. This is the I want to know something different. I want to try my hands at something new. I want to stretch out and take those chances and do those things that I've always talked about doing. I want to meet different people. I want to get out of my comfort zone and start networking and doing things that I normally would not do, because I'm telling you, although change is difficult and change is hard and confusing at times, the reward behind it is going to be amazing. So let's not be in our own way so we don't miss out on what it is that change is going to bring. The reward that is going to be behind it is going to be worth it. It is going to be worth it. I thank you guys for tuning in to episode 6. For those of you that's watching on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything. And I thank you guys once again. For those of you that's not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please make sure that you log in if you're clicking in from Facebook and subscribe and share this podcast with someone if it's been a blessing to you. And I thank you guys once again for tuning into episode 6. Until next time.